السلام عليكم ورحمة الله، أتمنى تكونوا بخير على خير. Today with exam number 3 in oral communication. للأسف هذه الأوضاع الراهنة راه الامتحان ما غاديش يكون oral as it should be، ولكن غادي يكون غالبا a written one. Okay, let us start with questions. Answer the following questions. Mention two barriers of communication. كنا قرينا هاد لي باغيير ديال الكومونيكاسيون شحال هادي، راه كنت درتهم في الدروس. يعني شنو هما هاد العوائق اولا الحوايج ديال الكومونيكيشن اولا effective communication. 1 and 2 قال لك just mention not define. Question number B. Mention two non-verbal forms of communication and explain them. Now he has given you the order of explaining. يعني بتدير جوج ديال non-verbal forms وبتشرحهم. Explain them. Question number 2. Define the following skills. أعطي دابا a definition of each one of these. عندي stereotyping, intonation, physical interference, regulative rules of speaking, accuracy. Next, عاوتاني fill in the blanks with a suitable word from the list. List عندي فيها effective communication, skills, instruction, communicative, active listening, visual insight and active rule. بالنسبه لهاد التكست راه ما لقيتوش كامل في الامتحان اللي تصيفط ليا، كتبت هذاك الشيء اللي كاين في الورقه، يعني راه باقا خاصه لكم على، يعني عندك بغيتي تجاوبي تختبر المعارف ديالك في هذا الفوكابولير هنايا وتحط كلمه هنا وكلمه هنايا، يعني جواب صحيح. Let us read the text. Effective communication is a process through which the sender conveys a message that the receiver readily receives and understands. It is a two-way process instead of a one-way process. When given oral hygiene, effective communication is very important between the dental team and the patients. It is crucial if the patients are to take an in managing their own oral health. When given oral hygiene instruction, there are a lot of different methods too. والكمالة للأسف ما كايناش. Anyway, this is the exam. Let us check the correction. Okay, answer the following questions. عندي قال لك mention two barriers of communication. Number 1 كاين بزاف، أنا اختارت semantic barriers that has to do with language and psychological barriers that has to do with the speaker أو لا the listener. ما درتش تعريف حتى ما مطلوبش مني. B. Mention two non-verbal forms of communication and explain them. دابا بغيت ندير explanation ديال كل واحد. Number 1 is eye contact. It is an especially important type of non-verbal communication. The way we look at explanation, the way we look at each other communicates خاصة واحد إثناء communicates countless things, including interest, affection, hostility, or attraction. Gestures, yeah, number 2. Yeah, the second non-verbal form. Gestures are a form of non-verbal communication in which bodily actions communicate particular messages. Gestures include movements of the hands, face, or other parts of the body. هادو هما تنقصدو بهم gestures. Number 2, question number 2. Define the following skills. دير ليهم definition. Stereotyping. شنو هي stereotyping? Stereotyping means an overgeneralized belief about a particular group or class of people. مثلا كاين اللي تيقول راه الفرنسيين عنصريين، هما فعلا فيهم هاد العنصرية ولكن عاوتاني ماشي كاملين. كاين اللي تيقول مثلا it depends، راكم عرفتوا بحالاش stereotyping، شي أفكار اللي تتكون مغلوطة. Number B. Intonation simply means the rise and fall of a speaker's voice during a conversation. هي ال intonation. C. Physical interference وما داك التشويش can be defined as a kind of interference which is external اللي خارجي and outside the control وخارج عن الإرادة ولا التحكم ديال both speaker and listener اللي تيكونوا during a conversation. D. Regulative rules of speaking. Regulative rules of speaking are rules that regulate interaction between a speaker and a listener by specifying when تحددنا when and how and where المكان and with whom to talk about certain things. They govern how we use language when we verbally communicate. بكل بساطة واختصار. Accuracy. Accuracy in communication means how well a speaker and a listener create or how well communicators create verbal and non-verbal messages that are understood by others and how well those messages are recognized, comprehended and interpreted. and interpreted. Second part قال لك fill in the blanks with a suitable word from the list. عندنا فقط جوج 1 and 2. Effective communication is a process through which the sender conveys a message that the receiver readily receives and understands. هذه هي definition تاع effective communication. It's a two-way process instead of a one-way process. When given oral hygiene instruction هي الجواب صحيح هنا خاص تكون تعليمات أو لا. Instruction. Effective communication is very important between the dental team and the patients. It is crucial يعني very very important if the patients are to take an active role دور حيوي أو نشيط an active role in managing our oral health. When given oral hygiene instruction, there are a lot of different methods too. Unfortunately, the text is not complete. نتمنى تكون استفادة في الامتحان تاعو. See you with another one.